Okay, hello. Once again, my name is Ilia Winter. This is Creative Indifferences right here. It's my YouTube channel. I own a 3D printing, custom fabrication, prop shop over in Bushwick in New York, in Brooklyn. And I like to make a whole bunch of different things. I make a lot of cosplay that I sell on my Etsy store. I also I like to make props. I like to make pretty much anything custom that I can get my hands on and people want. I like the more creative and unique, the better. Um, I'm very uh, I'm very excited. When somebody brings me something complicated, I get kind of overjoyed because it usually involves something that I haven't tried before, or especially when I get to experiment and make some new stuff, try some new different methods. And I try to document a lot of my stuff. I'm not great at it yet, and I'm really busy. So like I have a bunch of long streams. Like this stream series is just super duper long. Like I don't know how anyone could get through it, especially since you can't see the chat on the on the screen. I guess I should have figured that out for this one as well, but said I was going to stream at 4, so I'm going to stream at 4. So here we go. I'm just going to this I think will be the final stream. It's already this is supposed to be done for Comic Con, but the client's schedule fell through, so I got a little bit of extra time, which I was happy about because I got a little bit of extra time to work on it and really get the blaster to where I want it to be and not have to rush. So I'm very happy about that. But um, that also meant that I've just spent a whole bunch of extra time on it, which is okay. Uh, but all right, so here we go. Let me just share a couple of this here. I have these lined up already. That's a post. Let's post that. Let's post that. Let's post that. And let's post. Okay, well, hopefully we can bring in a viewer or two out of those shares. Again, I'm not I'm not great at doing any of this stuff. I'm still learning, so that's okay. All right, so let's get to what I do know how to do, which is make things and talk about them. All right, so this is the blaster. This is the barrel of it right here. So it's like that. It's pretty big. It's supposed to be kind of one-handed, but I decided to go a little bit macro with it and scale it up a little bit just so that for several reasons. One, because I mean, in the image that I was given as a reference in the comic, which chilly. Let me warm my hands on this soldering iron here. Let me just kind of. Yeah, but the client is actually a big dude, but also in the image that I got sent, it looks he's holding it with one hand. This is Bishop from X-Men, by the way. This is Bishop's blaster, and it looks like he's holding it one-handed, but then he's got like a shotgun in the other hand, and it looks like a full-size like sawn-off shotgun, and it looks like smaller than this. So I know sawn-off shotguns are not the full size, but still, they're like pretty big. So I looked at it and I scaled it up, and I'm like, if this is the size of a full size shotgun, and it looks like it's this big in the comic, and I get that stuff is exaggerated in comics and stuff. But also part of the reason was because there's a lot of components in here, and I needed them all to fit. And like every single part of this, with the exception of this frame, is actually hollow. Or this like I call it the frame. That's just what I named the 3D model. But this part has holes, as you can see here, that every other part kind of like slots into, and so the reasoning behind that is just so that it's not just held together with glue. I think that's important because otherwise, if it's just held together with glue, it's just going to be a lot of like weak points that naturally occur, and we don't want that. So, yeah. Anyway, all right. So then my next step right here is I made these boxes. This is the central. This is I call this the console, and this is the speaker housing because there's actually there's an Adafruit Feather, and then there's an MP3 quick MP3 trigger board by SparkFun in here. So this is the part that houses the speaker, and I actually made a couple of iterations of this. I'm gonna get the final one right now. Just I want to make sure I glue in the right one. But part of why I had to do that is because, oh, actually, you know what? Let me text someone. Yeah, so this is it right here. This is the speaker housing, and this is the new one. This is the final one right here. So I did a couple of things. I changed a couple of things. One of them is I didn't. I don't know if you can see, but it's painted in like a blackish chrome kind of. But what I did here was I masked the parts that are going to be glued, just so that there's no adhesion issues. And I specifically needed one side of it to be, this front side to be bare plastic, because the glue's going to hold better. And I didn't do that for all of these pieces because, like I said, a lot of these are going to have these inserted, bits. But this piece holds the barrel, and the barrel actually doesn't like have a huge amount of purchase on this. Like if you look right here, like it's got about that much, surface area where the glue is going to be holding it. And there is another piece right here that goes on here that's sort of going to hold it on. It's just going to create a little bit more. But I wanted to also glue it onto this back piece just to create kind of like a little bit more real estate for the glue to hold. And the other reason is because this is actually my third iteration. I'm trying to remember what happened to the first one in terms of why I had to remake it, but I don't really remember. But oh yeah, right. So what happened was I made it, and then I slotted it on, and it actually didn't quite fit. It was about 1 millimeter off, because sometimes when you 3D model things and then you print them and then you try to assemble them, a lot of times there are these, you have to deal with tolerances, and especially when you're painting things and you have like a lot of pieces that fit together. So it was a little bit off, and I had to redo it, which is great because I actually got a chance to properly, make the areas that I needed to bare plastic as they should have been. So I'm happy about that. So this is what we're gonna do right here. We're actually I'm gonna fit it one time, and then I'm going to, all right, so there we go. Gonna fit it one time, and then going to glue it on because it is time. It is that time. So see, so it just kind of fits just like that. Looks really well. Looks really good. Fits really well. The color matches the rest of it, which I'm very happy about. This other one is a little bit more silver than I made the previous one. So I might do a final touch up once again, like one more time. But this used to be a yellow wire, but I did a touch up color, and it got painted black. Let me actually just remind myself that it is a yellow wire because that is the data wire for the LED. Because I want to sneak a little LED in here, because this is where the speaker is going to go, just like that. Boom. And it's important for me that that you can hear the speaker. So I made this top casing for it with a bit of a force of habit. I'm showing you this way. With some slots in here. So you can hear the speaker. So and since you can see inside, I decided to also put in an extra LED in there so that the LED animation that carries through the entire barrel of the gun also happens through these little cracks. So when you fire the laser, you can see, a little reaction going on into here, and then I don't know. I thought it would be a nice little addition. I think when you see the final product, you'll agree. Man, it is getting chilly in here. I don't want to turn on the space heater though because it is very loud. All right, so let's get cracking. I'm going to mix a little bit of epoxy, and I'm going to put it where I need it to be, and then try not to bang this up as much as possible, because we are getting close to having this finalized, and putting like a nick or a dent in it is like not what I want to be doing. Okay, so we have our trusted Gorilla Glue 5-minute epoxy here, and now I'm just going to go for it, because that's what we do here at Meadoware Industries. We go for it. Okay. If there's anybody in the chat, please feel free to say hi. I can't. Ooh, what is going on here? Nope, I don't want to make a highlight. And as I said that, the only other concurrent viewer just left, so that's okay. All right, so here we go. So I'm going to mix it a little bit, or a lot of it, because that's what you do with epoxy. Make sure it's mixed well. And then I'm going to, I always overdo it a little bit on putting it out when I'm dealing with like a larger prop. That's okay. So gotta work quickly. So I'm just gonna put it, let's see, what am I doing? I don't want to smear it. So on the back of it, I'm just gonna put it over here. Okay, and then right here, I'm actually just going to put it on the bottom. Hopefully, I can get it to where it's evenly distributed along this like bottom area right here. Actually, look, I didn't overmix. This is actually a decent amount of leftover. I just want to get this one kind of really there in terms of adhesion, because I don't want this piece falling off or moving at all, because it might disrupt a little bit of some of the other stuff that I have glued. Okay, so there we go. So that's on there. Should have worn my smock pants instead of my nice pants, but hey. Alright, so now I'm going to take these wires. Hopefully I won't knock this gun over. Alright, take these wires, get them through. Alright, now that they're through, I'm going to slide it down. Boom! That is done. So I did, because I put a lot of epoxy, it is coming out a little bit on the sides, but that's okay. Because one thing about epoxy is that it paints well, at least with the painting method that I'm using with this gun. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to sort of get it, have it fill the crease, because you don't want to be able to see the gap. So I'm just going to take it out a little bit with this here long and thin, or stick. I call them long and thins because in Katamari Damacy, if you ever collect a long sort of stick object, and then you can press pause and you can look at the definition, or not the definition, but the descriptor of the object that you picked up, because that's something that you can do in the game where you pick up like a bunch of different objects. If you hit pause, you can look at the name of it. And the sticks, the long, like weird stick, no, they're not weird, they're just straight. They're literally called long and thins. So I discovered that while playing, I think, in, I don't know, in high school or something like that. I must have been like 15 years old. Uh, but discovered that, and then ever since then, anything that we use, like, hey, you know, anything that we use that fit the fit the profile is just always called a long and thin. Hey, I need to clean out this bowl. Get me a long and thin, quick. That's what I say. All right, so now we just have to wait for this epoxy to dry. It's going to take a couple of minutes, but that's okay because we can do other things while it's curing. Okay, let's look at the other side. We got a little bit of goop squeezing out again. There we go. The more you press down, the more you squeeze it out. So I might have to do a few. Let me get some more napkins here. Yes, hello. Нет, нету сейчас. I'm on YouTube right now. Okay, bye. You can text. You can text. Okay, bye. Hello. All right. That's my mom. She wants me to call her back later. All right. So I'm like, oh, let me put some extra here for extra adhesion. That just means extra cleanup. All right. All right. Oh, that's a lot of goop. I don't know if you can see that. There we go. Get that out of there. All right. I think that's good. And my hands all goopy. Surprised I haven't developed an allergy to this resin yet. I get so much of it in my hands. All right. I'm gonna do one more little cleanup here. Where was I going to do that? Was it here? All right. Oh, we got a viewer. Hello, viewer. Hello, mystery person. All right, so this is a good, I think this is good to just kind of like let it dry. Meanwhile, what can we do? So we have to solder the speaker on. The other thing that we have to do is connect the barrel. And then we have this last LED here that I made a little sort of harness for. That's gonna be put somewhere in the middle here, so that's another thing that needs to be soldered. I got right here, I have the ground and the the ground, the power, and then I have the data line right here. So what I'm going to do is, while this is setting, I'm going to isolate these wires, try to, where's my snips? There we go. Clean them up a little bit, and then attach them. And once this LED is on, we can actually turn it on and just make sure that that everything's working. Because right now, currently, no LEDs are connected to it, because all of the LEDs besides this one are in the barrel. So I can turn it on, and then that red light inside is from the from the Adafruit featherboard, so I can see that it's on, but I can't see that it's not making a noise because the speaker's not connected, and it's not making any light animations happen because no lights are connected. So it's kind of just like, hey, I'm alive, and that's about it. But I've tested it extensively before, because this middle inside console area right here is where most of the, or rather, this under this guard, like, I don't know what that's called, but I'm trying to think of what that's called on a gun, but I'm kind of blanking right now. But yeah, so that's the part where that houses all the electronics. So that is like permanently sealed in now. I have a little access hole, like through here and through here that I left just in case I needed to, emergency tweak something or whatever. But it is, as of now, all glued together, so I can't, edit any of the code. I can't access any of the audio files for extra last-minute sound design, because everything on the sound card's already inside. I can't, unless I find somebody who is an absolute miracle worker with tweezers. But still, like, getting the SD card out is going to be a lot easier than putting the SD card back in. I know that for a fact, so I'm not even going to try. But it's all done. But why I said that is that I did extensive testing as I was putting all of it together, just like test pretty much at every time I added a new thing. I would just test everything, because there's a lot of moving parts here, and it would suck if some of that went awry due to just mistakes. Mistakes happen, especially in a complicated build like this. Okay, so we have our soldering iron here. Let me get some solder. Oh, where's the rosin? The flux. Okay, here we go. Let's flux these bad boys up. Just like that. A little bit of that stuff, that goop on there. Bye-bye, viewer. Sorry that this wasn't exciting enough. But this is kind of mostly for my records. Also, if anybody who's watching has any questions, I've talked to people I've watched and stuff, and I've had good conversations. It's mostly for my records, more so than it is just like, I just figured I'd stream anyway, just in case anybody wants to hang out. But I'm definitely going to be doing like a final showcase YouTube video, and just making like a concise, nice, punchy, fun video about this build, so it's, you don't have to trudge through hours and hours of me bullshitting and just making this thing or whatever to see what's going on. Okay, so I'm just tinning these wires up a little bit. While I'm at it, I'll tune these up too. Okay, now I think we're ready for this wire. I don't think we need these huge leads that I have on here. I think maybe like think this much would be fine, so I'm going to go ahead and snip them, trim them a little bit. Okay. All right. I'm just going to do the same thing. I'm going to put a little bit of flux on these wire ends. And get them all ready to accept the solder. And then I'm going to bring the solder over here and totally ignore my helping hands that I have right here that are literally designed to help with what I'm doing right now. Should really use them. They have a fan that blows away all of this all these hazardous fumes. That was actually put on by Atacorn from Safety Third. Thank you, Atacorn. It's a shout out to the person whose helping hands they were. Okay, so now I need freaking. Oh, there we go. So yeah, I'm gonna put on some wire. What is this called? Shrink tube. I'm blanking on everything today. All right. Wow, soldering. Oh my God. Never seen that before. Let's wow, soldering. Yeah, well, this is so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 more solder points, and then no more soldering ever again. At least on this build. My life is soldering, so I can't say that for myself, but uh I don't know. That comment reeked of sarcasm, so I'm not sure. Also, hi Ford. Wow. Wow. Soldering. That was like the Owen Wilson. Wow. Wow. Ah, oh no, I pulled it away too quickly. Okay. All right. Okay. It's really not that hard. You wish you were good at soldering, but it's really not that hard. I mean, it's hard when you don't use flux because then the solder and like it doesn't stick to anything. But what the flux does is it attack like it's a chemical. I mean, it attacks the metal a little bit and wears it down. I think and creates a surface area that the solder can attach to. So that's kind of like the trick of the trade is if you flux your whatever you're soldering is properly, then it will stick to the metal parts and not stick to the not metal parts, and it just becomes a breeze. You know, I'm not like a pro. Like I don't do. I've done some like onboard or like uh what's it called? Like I've done like I've fixed stuff that's on on motherboards and like some CMD stuff, some like um board mounted stuff, but it's very minimal. Like I don't have like a proper setup for that, and I've used other people's tools. But like somebody's like, oh, the HDMI port on my PS4 is not working or whatever, and like you gotta. They're not that hard to replace. Although I have fucked it up before, so they're not the hardest, but also not the easiest to do surface mounted components. Okay, so have this, have that. This is pretty much stuck on there. All right. Now, I guess I could attach the speaker, huh? Or, well, now we have, I think we have light. Or should have light. Yep. There we go. Boom. That's done. And now we need to have, where is the, I just need to know the orientation of the speaker wires. Let's see, I have my other one here. So that's white is power on this one, so red goes on the right side. The amount of times I've soldered and desoldered it, this speaker, I should really know that by now. But the brain, it can only fit so much information, and unfortunately, it just doesn't fit. Apparently. So okay, so just doing that. I'm considering not gluing the lid to the speaker down, just in case something happens. It could be removed, but I don't know. I haven't decided yet. But effectively, what that would mean is it would be like this, and then there would be the light in here, and then got this top part that closes in, and then yeah, it would just be like it's a tight fit, so it wouldn't like come off or anything. But oh wait, am I putting it on the wrong way? Yeah, I think so. Nope, that is the right way. Yeah, so that's what would look like.
All systems ready.
Man, that is cool.
All systems ready.
So I gotta figure out a way to position this light so that it actually looks good. Because right now all it's doing is like lighting up the speaker and showing that there's a speaker in there. So I'm gonna maybe position it somewhere like on this side or something so that it illuminates the inside of it, but doesn't kind of. Yeah, let me plug in my hot glue gun and then put a drop of hot glue. See how I feel about the location of it. Let's see, where did I do with that? Oh yeah, right. I think. Whatever. I'll save that for later. That's literally the last and least important thing. Okay, so let's get a move on. We're here. There's I want to get to the fun stuff. Putting the barrel on. Yeah, this is going to be like maybe 4 hours, 3 hours shorter than. See how I'm already getting ahead of myself. 3 hours shorter than all the rest of the streams because this is just there's nothing left to do. Everything is all done. Just got to make sure that speaker doesn't rattle around in there and glue the light, glue the barrel on, glue the. Oh god. Okay. All right. Fine. So the other thing that I want to do is let's say I have this barrel. I'm gonna put this to the side for now. I'm just gonna let it live over here. I have this barrel, but my problem is that this has a little bit of paint on it, so I'm afraid that the adhesion level won't be as good as I want it to be. So I'm just gonna hit it a little bit, like try not to get out of the. Oh, let me see if I can do this maybe. Try not to get, color in the lines, as it were, over here. But you want to shave some of it down because you always want to be sticking to the object itself and the plastic and not the paint that you put on it because you'll pull that paint right off. So it looks like I'm scratching things up here, but this is all it's all going to be covered by another part. So yeah, I have this part right here, but also there's this part because technically this whole line I think is going to be glued, right? We have this piece right here, and it effectively covers the entire area of right here, and this has paint on it. So I'm just going to spend a couple of extra minutes wearing this paint down a little bit because this barrel is big, pretty heavy, and I want it to stick properly. It's kind of like really important to me. So realistically, I should have masked it, but I was so eager to just paint this. So how's it going, Ford? What's new with you? Anything fun or interesting? Oh shit. I think I may have gotten outside the lines there a little bit. Let's see. Just a little bit. That's okay. Still gonna do touch-ups again after this. Oh, it's all good, man. Uh, what's new? How's it going? Uh, how come I started scratching over here? Because this part, right? So this goes here, right? But the most important, this section right here is actually the most important glue section of the whole gun because you see how that, oh, you can't see shit because the camera's not on. Right. So right here, right? This is the part that goes right here. Boom. And then this part right here is actually the most important part that needs to be glued because you see how that, that's where the barrel sticks to the rest of the gun, like that. So boom, ba boom, and then like that. So yeah. Sorry, I didn't get back to you about the 3D uh, the 3D thing that you asked me about because uh, I was busy and like I asked my one source that I thought of. There's this guy that used to work for a company uptown that did like a lot of VR work, and they did like a lot of VR systems for different companies. So I was gonna go to him. I don't know him that well, but I tried to reach out, and I think he doesn't work there anymore. And I didn't really have time to look and ask around and stuff. So don't stop coming to me with interesting stuff though. Just because I'm not coming through. Yeah, I know you asked me about the drone thing too. Because you know, love that shit. All right, so that is correct. Okay, so this is pretty much. I mean, pretty much it. Uh, Let us solder this stuff together and then glue. Good, good. I'm glad to hear it. Okay, so what are we doing here? So let me take this cap off. Okay, and then let's solder it first. So I was gonna trim this actually, but I think that's just gonna make it harder for me to. Good, good. Yeah, definitely. Once I actually invest some time into it, I think we could probably get close. Actually, you know what? Yeah, these are a little bit. I'm gonna trim a little bit. Uh, Fuck, I forgot the name of it. It's. I don't want to look through my messages right now. I'll find out for you though. I think he left on good terms though, so We might still have an in. Oh, thank you. I'm trying to make sure chat is live. So I always forget. Yeah, see, I didn't put any flux on this wire yet, and the solder, I decided to try it anyway, and the solder just straight up just rolls off. I noticed for me as a viewer, there's a less lag using the YouTube app than there is using Chrome on desktop. Oh, interesting. Interesting. You mean like the YouTube like program on Windows? Or I guess maybe use a Mac or something? Is there a streaming software that YouTube provides? I on your end. Oh, I see. So you mean like um I think I understand what you're saying. The like when you're on your phone, it lags less than when you're on your desktop. Gotcha, gotcha. Yeah, I wonder what the reasoning behind that is. Shrink tube, more shrink tube. It's good to know though. Oh no. I always forget to put the shrink tube on. Story of any soldering. I was about to say soldering artist, soldering technician. All the way, although the way that I have seen some people solder online, you may as well call them an artist. I mean, like reballing, you know, uh, processor chips on like phones and stuff. Like that's just, oh my god. I know it's still technician, but it's just like it looks pretty and it's super hard to do, and I don't know. That's what I have watched that for fun. There's a good channel that let me do. There's a good channel that I like called Stranger Parts. No, Parts Unknown. No, that's Anthony Bourdain's. Strange Parts, I think. Um, it's this guy, and he like he went to China, and he like Shenzhen, I think, and he built himself an iPhone like from components, which was super duper interesting. And then he ended up building a whole bunch of other things, and so it's all very very cool. But he started his first like debut, which was super popular. And I mean, the rest of his stuff is really popular too. But his like debut thing was that he went to China and he like lived in a hotel for a bit, and he basically figured had to go meet people and do whatever, and like go to the markets and buy all the different parts of the phone separately, and essentially just build it build it himself. It's awesome. Stranger Parts, I think, maybe. Yeah, it's really entertaining for me. But okay, so especially as someone who approaches things from like I can do that perspective, it's interesting to see how far you can go with that when it has to do with like stuff that really isn't normally DIY. All right, so here we go. Now we're at the what may be the most important glue of the gun, right? Because this is the heaviest part attaching to the rest of the gun, which is also a pretty heavy part. It's not that heavy, but relative to any one individual part, the combination of them is going to be heavier. Uh, but better parts. Oh, but I remember the guy going to China to get an iPhone, ridiculously overspec parts, like way more solid state storage. Yeah, better. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's kind of why I build drones myself, as opposed to like I have bought pre-builts, and sometimes you just want something that's like bind and fly. Just like these printers. I mean, yeah, technically I put them together, but they're like I didn't have to like build a hot end or build the frame. Like I mean, I put the frame together, but that's just screws. There's like it was 80% already assembled. Like I just put some screws in and whatever. Like sometimes you want things to just out of the box, out and like work. It's so much satisfaction like when I'm building drones to just like pick the specific parts that I want, because I know that, because a lot of times when people do I kind of need to not talk while I do this, but I'm gonna let me get this thought out. Um, when people don't realize that when people make pre-built things for them, a lot of times they skimp on parts, especially since you have to pay for the manufacturing process. You have to pay whoever's assembling it, or you have to pay for, and just in general, as a company, you try to cut costs as much as possible. So building yourself for a lot of the time for the same price, you might even be able to get better parts. Like I usually, go in a little bit and like spend a little bit more, but usually for the same price, you can pretty much get, better parts unless they're doing like a deal build or something like that. Okay, so uh, let's see how much this is. No, we're gonna need a little bit more, I think. I'm not quite sure, but I'm gonna spill a little bit more out. You know what? I really don't trust this. I don't trust that spill. I'm throwing it out. I know that's weird, but this is the most important, like, gluey part of the gun. Uh, I'll get to what you're saying in a second. This is the most important part of the gun, and I think that ratio might have been a little bit off because I opened up a new thing of epoxy, and you got to get the air bubble out and like whatever. And like if the ratio is off by a little bit, I'm gonna toss this too. If the ratio is off by a little bit, then it makes for a weaker bond. And I just since this is the most important part of the build, like I just will not have that. Like I'd rather throw that couple of bucks of epoxy or whatever into the trash than have this be subpar bond here. Speaking of drones, I was thinking of you the other day because I have a relative who's dating a professional drone photographer, and his whole job is like traveling around. Might be a good customer for you because you could use custom stuff mods. Oh hell yeah! Oh, I would love to do that. Also, we could probably talk about um, how to get into flying around the country to fly around because I'm definitely interested in that. I mean, I'm not trying to stomp on anyone's business or anything like that, but definitely would love to chat and see what's up. Okay. All right. So I know these wires are going to have to get stuffed. So I think what I'm going to do is kind of the same thing where the glue that's going on this side right here, I'm just going to actually get a little bit more light here. I know that probably looks obnoxious, but so the glue that's going on over here, I'm going to just put on first, and then I'm going to put on, or rather, I'm going to put it on the surface over here, and then the other part I'm going to put right there where I made those scratch marks. Oof, don't do that. Don't you leak. Oops. Okay, got a little drip over here. That's okay. All right, let's combine these fuckers. Hi. Still building the gun. The war is over. Yes, 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 yes. I know I'm taking forever, but hey, it's on my time now. Before it was on their time, now it's on my time. All right, let us stuff all of this, hopefully. All right, let's get this in there. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Oh, this is stressful. Trying to stuff all the wires in there. Oh, I need a clean stick. Oh. Okay, all right. Come on. Gotta get this done. Oh, yes. We have entry. Oh, boy. That was me remembering that I forgot to test it. Ha! It works. Okay, good. Thank bloody Jesus. All right. So now we are on. And that's it. Now we just have to let it set. Oh my god, this is so. You have no idea how satisfying it feels to have these two pieces together. I mean, I've put them on for testing a little bit before here and there, but oh boy. Here, let me hold it some kind of photogenic way here. All right. You mean take a screenshot? Oh boy. This is gonna be my shortest stream out of all of them. It's awesome. I know this isn't super exciting, me holding these two pieces together, but guess what? I don't care. This is super exciting for me. This is 2 months in the making. Supposed to be 1 month, but it ended up being two. Nice. It's my cat. I've my cat's hanging out at my parents' house for now because we're setting up uh, an area for her. Oh boy, this is maybe like this. Maybe this is my arm is getting tired. Hello? Ford? Your gun's almost ready. I'm just gonna take a nap. Yeah, I agree. It's really cool. It's also you said it's super exciting seeing how heavy and substantial it is. I agree. Also, I know you mentioned that it was just like, there was an affinity towards the larger gun, so, like a larger two-handed gun. So when I started making this, according to the way that it looked in the sort of the art that you sent me, um, I was like, you know what? It's not a big deal if it's a little big and chunky, because even though it's a one-handed weapon, it looks bigger than the double-barrel shotgun in his other hand. And at the end of the day, if there was already an affinity towards the double-handed thing, then it's okay if it's a little bit bigger. Oh man, so friggin' awesome. Let me I kind of want to. I'm gonna wipe my hands. And I should really wipe this desk down too, because if I lay it down, I don't want to get any like. Oh, nice. Wipe it with the dirty fucking thing. You know what? Actually, no. I have things for this. I specifically kept, and of course, now when I need them, I'm not gonna find them. Or wait, is that it? No, whatever. I guess I could use this one. Give Maker made some free advertising. There we go. I'm going to, yeah, I'm gonna. Oh wait, why did I move that when I could just move the camera? That's a good point. See, I didn't think about that. That it would read better in photos if it's oversized. That's great. So solid choice all around. All right. What do I want to do? Oh yeah, I want to put some alcohol on my hands so that I'm not putting resin fingerprints all over this thing. You should see this janky ass camera setup that I have here. It's like an webcam painters taped to uh, IKEA like arm lamp. definitely gonna try to invest in a better streaming station at work here. Okay.
All systems ready.
So there's blue. Set it to red for time travel or for past bishop, right? Let's get red on there. Boom. Can't really see it. There's all these lights that I have. Ah. Oh, you know why it reminds you of that? Because I thought of it when I was designing the front of the gun. That's why it reminds you of that. Also, I don't know how much I like this light. I mean, it's cool. I guess it like shines. Remember I was talking about this backlight, but it's like really strong. I wasn't expecting to be I wasn't expecting this backlight to be like as strong as it is. I didn't glue it in. I could disconnect the powering ground and just have it not light up. But it's also possible. You can also cover it in like a piece of acrylic or something so that it's less like crazy. I don't know. I'll see what I can do.
All systems ready.
I think you're talking about this, like that. Where is it? Oh no, it's like that. There's a switch. Oh well, no, the button on the back that turns it on and off. Sure, sure, yeah. I mean, I could just do it on the spot. It's no big deal. Um, I'm gonna. Oh yeah, see, like the M. I haven't even set where the light is gonna be on the inside, but it like lights up through the thing. Super cool. But yeah, I'm gonna bring. I don't know. I don't know what where the photo shoot's gonna be or anything like that. But I'm going to bring my one of my smaller like ducted indoor drones that you can fly around people because I want to do an orbit because that's just going to be amazing. And nobody else can get that kind of footage. Um, but yeah, so I'm gonna have my like little travel soldering kit and all that stuff. So if the light doesn't work out, then I can just fix it on the spot. It's really not a big deal at all. So we have this now. A couple more pieces to glue on. I have these little things that go on the side right here because I have this spot where the not there, where the yeah, well, I was gonna bring it because I was just debating whether or not I should bring it because you know it's not the smallest and it's kind of loud, but and I didn't want to like freak anyone out, but also like legitimately it's the only way to get like an orbit shot. An orbit shot looks so goddamn cool. Like somebody standing and posing or like switching poses and whatever, and the camera orbiting like smoothly orbiting around them. Like they just look so cool. Like just whatever, whether for the gram or for whatever, like it's worth it. So I'm gonna bring it. Okay, so I have these two pieces. And then I also have this bottom one. So let's see which one we're going to put on first. The bottom one goes on like this. Ceiling is pretty high. Well, there you go. Perfect. I mean, not that, not that that really matters in this instance, but it's always, it's good. That means I get to fly my smaller, tiny, like the tiniest one, and have a little bit of fun. Only about 2 car widths side though. Okay, all right. Well, we'll see what happens. Like I said, like you know, I'm not gonna hurt if that doesn't happen. I'm just and my mentality was bring your gear so that if it's possible and people are into it, we can get it. We can do it. Like that was my mentality. It's so funny that you're saying like 2 car widths wide. Like I saw this meme where it was like fucking Americans have the weirdest measuring systems because obviously everybody always rags on Imperial because it's a piece of shit and a dumpster fire of a measuring system. But there was this like news article or something that was it was like about a sinkhole and it's like uh, and the title of it, the headline was sinkhole the size of like 3 washing machines opens up in yada yada county or whatever, and it's like and the quote on it was like, man, Americans will use anything to measure stuff, and it's just so funny. It's just so fucking funny. I don't know. I'm obviously misquoting a meme isn't gonna be nearly as funny, but it's just like fucking Americans, man. Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. Like that thing was 4 football fields away. What? Maybe if your regular system of measurement was easier to visualize because it wasn't made up of like completely arbitrary numbers, then you wouldn't have to use washing machines and cars and football fields to measure things relatively. Okay, so get back to our favorite thing in the world: make mixing epoxy. Yeah, you know what? That's the one thing that I can't shake. I've converted completely to metric. Um, a little while ago, once I started like 3D modeling for 3D printing, uh, and not just for video game assets and whatever. Like that's when I pretty much converted almost entirely. But the one thing that I can't shake still is Fahrenheit, and I don't know why. I think it's mostly because I don't really like drastically need it in my day to day, so I never really needed or I mean, I do. That's just not true. I do check the weather, but I don't know. Maybe I feel like it's not as critical because I don't. It's not. I don't use it for work or anything like that. But it is for sure for me harder to shake. Um, right. That makes sense. Yeah, I get what you're saying. What is happening? What is happening? For some reason, this is not. It's almost like it doesn't want to make contact here. All right, come on. Do 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 do. This is annoying, but I gotta do it because the two areas that are being glued, they like slot into one another. But if I let it go, I can see that it creates like a little gap, and I definitely don't want that. So because this is kind of like also a little bit structural. It's not just because if it was just a cosmetic gap, then I would fill it with resin after it was glued and just touch it up, like I've been doing with everything else. But this is like also kind of structural, so I'd rather hold it down for the duration for whatever it is, 5, sometimes 10 minutes. Super annoying, but you got to do it. As if that's helping. Oh, Ford. So can you see if you can maybe use FFmpeg or whatever software to try to help me get that video back that I so when I so awesomely smashed my GoPro into the top of an archway on the asylum at the abandoned psychiatric center. Um, so yeah, so the GoPro didn't format it. Well, you know the deal. The GoPro didn't format it properly because it broke midway through the video. So it didn't. I think it just didn't set the footer code or whatever it is. So I tried once, but I'm not familiar with FFmpeg or the software that I got. So well, so whatever two files were before it. Okay, so the closest ones are the most valuable to you because the one right before it is like very short. It's like I turned on the camera and then I turned it off because I turned it on by accident, and then the one before that is a full video. All right. Don't want to start messing around with it just yet, but we have one more thing that I need to glue, and that is I'm gonna need these little guys that go right here to cover up the back of the um, although I don't know, it looks fine without him, but to me it's like not finished. So I'm gonna glue them on. So yeah, so do you want that small? Because I'm gonna send them to you as soon as I finish the stream. So if you do you want that small video, like the really short one, and then the one before it, which is a full video, or do you want like two longer videos from before in that same time period of recording? Let me know. Okay, sure. Sounds good. I'm gonna save these. Actually, I was gonna glue them right now, but actually, maybe I still will. Because my thing is, if I glue them right now, then this might be might be a little bit harder. Man, I'm just wasting epoxy today. The piece that holds the speaker might be harder to take off. And since I haven't glued the LED in there or secured the speaker yet, so that is, I'm just going to do that off camera, just like the other few things that I need to. Oh man, this feels solid. Boom. Yeah, so there's a few things. This is finished. I consider this finished. There's a few things that I'm going to do off camera, which is like I said, secure the LED that's inside the speaker housing. I'm gonna glue these two back panels that I just these guys. These guys right here. I'm gonna glue those on after I do that. The other thing is I have this hinge that I have this like metal piece sitting inside. What I'm going to do is I'm going to trim the ends and then attach these little like circles at the very ends just so that the hinge stays inside and it looks nice and clean. And then do final touch, final touch-ups, final last looks kind of thing. And then that's it. And then it'll be, so I'm gonna do that tonight. So it's gonna be finished tonight, or like right now off camera. So, let me do this real quick. Oh, does that work? Oh God, that's such a shitty. Yeah. Let's turn this off.
All systems ready.
Whoa, what is happening with that circle of light floating around? What is that? Let me see if can I get my eye in there? Well, I look like I have a monocle. Well, I'm going to screenshot that later. Hold on. Man, you still don't know, huh? Oh man, about this secret button here. Oh boy, that is exciting. Do you want me, Ford? Should I give you a sneak preview a little bit, or do you want me to just save it? What do you what do you think? I don't have to give away the whole surprise, but I could give you a little sneak preview. But you said you like surprises, so you might want to just wait. I don't know. What do you think? All right. No, it is. Okay. Sure. So for now, it's just a colorful gun that shoots.
All systems ready.
Well, no, I'm not. I'm just not gonna show it. Because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take it home once it's finished. I'm also gonna make I don't know when you're setting up the thing, but this is gonna be done and ready. So that doesn't really matter. But what I'm gonna do is like I said, I'm gonna try to make like a stand for it or something, so it can be a display thing. But this is funny. What is this circle? Look at this. With the mustache and the monocle, not bad. Anyway, yeah. So just let me know. What was I saying? Working on the timing. Yep, all good. So yeah, I'm gonna do like final looks, touch up, stuff like that, and then that's it. And then this is pretty much ready.
All systems ready.
Damn, imagine if that's how long it took your gun to power on. That's not good in a dangerous situation. Like, Like, oh man, somebody's. I guess that's why he's got the double shotty. But he's got, dude, Bishop's got so many guns. Like, I don't know. Maybe this is, I'm just saying. It's like, oh no, somebody's attacking us. Like,
All systems ready.
blast him. But I mean, I had to make this intro animation. Like, it is just too cool.
All systems ready.
Just too cool. Make it that royal purple. Yeah, right? I'm having too much fun. All right. Yeah, I think I'm gonna call it. I'm not gonna hang out for the next 15 minutes. So, so yeah. So this is officially complete. I'm gonna do the final touches and whatever, and then I'm gonna make a final YouTube video showcasing all of the stuff. And then I'm just gonna sit on that until we do the photo shoot. So it's scary story time. Anyway, so yeah, so that's that. Let me turn on the lights. Thanks for hanging out, Ford. Thanks for hanging out, everybody else. I will catch you on the flip side. Make sure to follow Creative Indifferences, which is my YouTube channel. And yeah, and I'm looking forward to making the official YouTube showcase video of this, and I'm gonna post that whenever it's ready. So, peace out. It's good to talk to you. I'm going to send you those videos soon. So yeah, I'll text you. All right, I'm out of here. Thank you, everybody. My name is Ilia Winter. Stay creative.